Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to Minutes of Audio. Today we're going to be talking about the albumoftheyear.com list aggregate. If you like what we have to say, make sure you like, subscribe, and click the notification bell. So we're just going to get started with it. The 10th album on the list with 187 points. This is an aggregate list made from other reviewers' placements of the album on their list. So that's how points are defined.
You get more points for being in first than you do for second and third for, all of that stuff. And that's how they're all kind of judged.
So number 10 on this list is the Jasmine Sullivan album. And that is the only album on this list that neither of us have actually listened to.
Yeah.
So we're just going to skip through it. So good job to Jasmine Sullivan.
Yeah,
number
I
9
bet it was
on...
really good. Okay, I'll give her props.
I don't know. Some of the albums on this list are stinkers.
Well, not hers. Not hers. We love you, Jasmine.
Hopefully. I'm not going to put my name on that because I haven't listened. But she had 187 points. The next album on this list is Turnstile's Glow On with 197 points. I listened to this album like maybe once or twice. I enjoyed the first song on it. After that, I feel like it went downhill though. How about you, Carl?
I definitely was sort of similar in your camp, except I thought the first 3 or 4 tracks were pretty good. But it does definitely take a turn for the worse, sort of exiting the beginning part of it. A lot of people love the record, though. I've heard a lot of sort of talk about, oh my god, like this is the rock record of this is the best rock record to come out so far this decade. It's intense, it's raw, the riffs are catchy, the solos are really good.
This decade?
Yeah, like in the 2020s.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I don't know if I agree with it either. I don't even know if you could say it's the best rock record in the
Last 2 decades.
Yeah.
Or last year.
I think when people are saying it, they're more so saying like sort of like a classic rock sound almost. Not so much like indie rock or something, but even that, there has to be better ones out there.
I was gonna say Spanish Love Songs album, Very Faces Everyone, and the Strokes album, The New Abnormal.
That's
vastly better rock albums. Even, sorry for steamrolling, but even the album Dry Cleaning, or fuck off me, New Long Lake by Dry Cleaning, is a much better rock record, even if that is more post-rock.
I totally forgot about the Strokes. I think that that definitely blows it out the water for me. That's a great album. Yeah, great.
That's one of the few albums I actually do go back and will re-listen to and be surprised about things on it every time.
Yeah.
Because it is a really well-produced album.
Really catchy.
So, do you think that... I think, personally, that Turnstile should have been lower on the list.
Same.
But...
The next one, I think it's interesting, because the next one has 203 points. However, it has 4 less first place positions than Turnstile.
And that, of course, is the Arlo Parks album, Collapsed in Sunbeams. I listened to this album back when it first came out. I don't think it's really all that great. It's just a average indie rock, not even, just an indie record with subpar lyrics and good piano playing. That's really all I have to say about it. It should have been lower.
Yeah, I wonder if it got up higher simply because of name recognition. Because I don't but like, because it has a lot more not name recognition. It has a lot more like top 25 placements, top 50 placements, things like that than Turnstile. So it's funny how like those sort of lesser, I guess, praiseworthy accolades would be what pushes it ahead of Turnstile. I just think that's interesting.
And yeah, it did have more top 10 plays. Or top 10 placings.
And top 20 and other. I don't know what other means.
But that probably means like it's a top 50 list.
Yeah.
But the next album has 208 points, and it is the Dry Cleanings album, New Long Lake. I think this is another one that only I listen to. Am I correct?
Yes.
This one, I really enjoyed it. I think it's perfectly placed. The guitar work on it's really catchy. The vocals, it's post-rock vocals, so I can't complain. It definitely is one of the better rock albums from this decade. Way better than Turnstile's album.
So you're saying Turnstile
yeah.
isn't the best rock record?
Yes.
This one I'm kind of shocked, to be honest.
Low. Hey, what?
But
225 points. What do you think, Colin?
I don't know. I kind of it's one of those albums that I think there's definitely something to it. It's not bad by any means. I wouldn't even say it's simply above average. It's a good record. It's just boring. I can't find myself listening to it more than like once or twice. I guess like on a technical level, I think I can't complain, but to be on number 6, especially, you know, on like a list like this, I feel like there has to be there's a lot more records that I would place higher than this one.
Yeah, it's definitely a good album, but it's too boring. Okay, it is boring to a point. Well, it does have some good songs on it that I will go back and listen to, but even those songs, I don't find myself re-listening to that much just because they are a little too slow. I'm trying to remember the name of the one.
It just kind of...
Days Like These. That's a really good one.
I don't really remember the names of the tracks either, but I remember there's some real doozies on this record.
So yeah, that probably should have been like the top 20, not top 10, not top 6 for sure. The next one, I think should have been placed. Should have been lucky to it should have been like a top 50. It was Olivia Rodrigo Sour. It had 239 points. My biggest problem with this album was that people made it seem like she was a young Bob Dylan writing these brilliantly crafted songs that were extremely like emotional and deep.
Yeah.
But then when you listen to them, it just sounds like a sophomore in high school going through a breakup. Which, like, if you're a sophomore in high school going through a breakup, this album probably fucking slaps, but I'm not in that scenario.
I mean,
I even hate the album cover.
Yeah, no,
She just looks like...
The album cover is definitely repulsive, but I kind of have a soft spot for it just because it is her first major project, and I think for it being her first major project, it could have been a lot worse. I think there's a decent amount on this record that I would come back to, and that I kind of hope that she expands on in the future. I don't think her songwriting is that bad.
It's okay. It's her first album and all, but she's also been a Disney Channel celebrity for like 2 or 3 years, and she comes from an extremely wealthy family.
Yeah.
And some of the songs on this album sound straight ripped from other albums. Like, it really sounds like she took her favorite genres, and make a song like this. They changed it a little, and then she put her shitty lyrics over it.
I guess I'm just not as pessimistic as you. I mean, it shouldn't be at number 5. I agree with that, but I don't know. I find some enjoyment with it. I'm not.
What would you put it on?
I put it somewhere in like the top 50. I don't know where, but I'd give it mention.
Top 50. I might put it at like 30, just because I've only listened to 40 albums.
Well, in my personal one, it'd be like probably in the top 20. But like, I mean, you know, with all the 50, you know, top albums this year, I put it somewhere in the 50.
So, the next album is the Japanese breakfast record, Jubilee.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah.
Did you listen to that one?
No, this is the only other one that I haven't listened to in the top 10.
Okay, so this one I enjoyed. Thought it could have been better. I really enjoyed the bass lines on it. The production was smooth. I liked the vocals. not too much to complain about. I think it probably should have been a little bit lower, like maybe 10 or 9. On my personal list, it would probably be in like the honorable mentions, which would be like the top 20 through 10s. But other than that, it's good enough. So the next one is Floating, is the album by Floating Points for Pharoah Sanderson's and the London Symphony Orchestra, Promises. What did you think of this one, Carl?
I mean, I only listened to it once, so I haven't, I feel like it may be one of those records that on a re-listen I could get a lot more from. But I remember talking to you before I listened to it, so maybe your negativity seeped into my head and it made me biased. But it did kind of feel samey.
Dude, it was literally the same melody for songs 1 through 6. Like I thought my album, when I was listening to it, I thought I was on repeat at one point. Because it just... I get it that it's a sorry for cutting out, but I get it it's like an orchestral album, but like, have you ever listened to any old... like
classical music?
Yeah, any classical music before? None of them sound this same.
Yeah,
they always are extremely
movement to movement, but a lot of times there's sort of like there is a sort of trend of similarity, but there is definitely difference between each of the movements.
Yeah, it's like, dude, like, okay, I'm again, I've listened to this like 2 or 3 times, but from what I remember, song 1 and 2 are like pretty much identical, besides the last 20 seconds where a new instrument comes in. Song 3 is that same song with the instrument happening every 30 seconds, and then it just is a rinse and repeat. Like, I don't know. Maybe that song should have been one song, and you should have cut out 25 minutes of it.
You see, though, like, for what they did have, though, like, it sounds well made, and it sounds,
Well, of course it's well made when you're using 3 instruments. It's so easy to mix 3 instruments. Sorry.
I mean,
what were you saying?
I'm just trying to say maybe I wasn't able to fully experience it for what it is, and maybe if I was given more time with it, I would come to a better opinion. But as of right now, I can't see it being at number 3. I can't justify that.
And it just seems like one of those albums that the only people that like it are either pretentious or trying to look deep.
I can see that. I can definitely see that.
Okay, that's enough hate on that one.
Yeah, you really gotta...
I got a little bit red in the face.
Got personal.
No, because I was pissed off because I was like at work the first time I listened to it, and I was like, this is hype. I just listened to Japanese Breakfast album. That was good. Now I'm going to listen to this one. And this comes on, and I'm like, this is the slowest minutes of my life. It sucked. And then I listened to it when I got home, and I literally fell asleep.
It's not quality minutes of audio. It's shit minutes of audio.
It was, yeah, honestly. Amen.
Not the minutes of audio you want to listen to.
So, the next one got 299 points. It was Tyler, the Creator's Call Me If You Get Lost. Carl, what do you think about this one?
I like Call Me When You Get Lost. I'm much more of a fan of rapping Tyler.
Igor?
No, actually, I'm in the very small minority that prefers like Flower Boy to Igor. But I kind of like Tyler when he's sort of doing his more soulful.
1:30 or 12:30. I'm gonna go to bed at like 2:30.
This album really didn't push the boundaries of anything. Yeah, it didn't. I mean, Igor was like a step in. He was experimenting, and that's why I think that album was so important. But even though I may have not preferred it, but with this record, he kind of stayed in his box. He didn't experiment as much as he did with something like Igor. But I think it's a solid record. He's not pushing the envelope. He's not doing some weird shit. He's sticking to what he does best. He's on his rap shit. He's on his storytelling shit. I don't know. I think it was, even though I personally would not have it this high, I'm perfectly fine with it being, somewhere in the top 5. And if they have it at 2, which it is at 2, got 4 first place, 4 second place, 3 third place, or 2 third place. Like, it's pretty high ranking. I'm fine with it.
I don't know. Call Me If You Get Lost it's good. It's not a number 2 placement worthy. And it could be better than Igor. It definitely has some catchier songs on it.
Yeah.
But I felt like it also had some of the cringier Tyler, the Creator moments. I think he's getting too overly confident in what he does at this point. And it's more of a negative thing. Because some song, like, there's one song on it that's like, he's like, dude, life is good right now. I'm doing this and that. And, like, whenever I listen to it, I'm like, this is stupid. Why'd you include it? You're not funny.
Was this also the, No, it wasn't that. There was, shoot. I don't remember. There was one song on here that I thought he had some really shit lyrics. Or he had some, like, really shitty points that he was trying to make.
But with that being said, What's Your Name is definitely in my top 10 songs of this year. That is such a good song.
I forget like what.
It's the one with the NBA Youngboy.
I mean, yeah, that one was definitely. It wasn't my favorite, but it definitely was. I don't think it was standout for me, but it was definitely was like a solid track on the record. I mean, yeah, I think in general, I'm not like complaining too much that it's up at number 2.
So the number 1 album had 373 points.
Blew everything out of the water. God damn.
That is a difference of 74 points. Did not deserve it at all. Hey. And it was Little Sim's album. Sometimes I Might Be Introvert.
Look at those first place votes too. 13 first place. That's crazy.
It's repulsive. This album, we have a review on it, so if you want to hear it, we won't talk too much about it. But so we'll talk more about our post-review thoughts on it. Since the review on it, I have not listened to it once. I don't think about it. I don't want to think about it. I forgot it existed for a week, and it was a good week. But this reminded me of it. It's just so... It's cringe at points. She's talking like she's Kendrick when she's like fucking young boy NBA.
Stop.
That's...
Just
the reason that Kendrick can brag like I'm a prophet and shit is because he's had extreme mainstream success. Who the fuck's heard of Little Sims?
Hey, Gray, I think it's Gray Area. That album kind of turned some people on to her, and that Venom song got a lot of people on.
Yeah, like all 12 of them.
Stop. Okay.
I've never heard of a mention of Little Sims, like, before this album came out. That's just 'cause and I've been active on this website since 2019 at this point.
You're not in the trenches, okay?
I am in the trenches.
Streets, okay? I'm talking to people, okay? And they're like, yo, you gotta check this new Sims, man. I'm like, shit, I got you, okay?
I met somebody in real life, and I said, yeah, I listened to the new Little Sims album, and they straight up ghosted me.
Wait, really?
That's a lie.
Okay, I was gonna say. Holy shit.
I just thought it would be funny.
That sounded so real. I was gonna say it explains your disdain for the album, though.
No, that didn't happen at all. I just thought it'd be funny.
But no, okay. I don't agree with anything he's saying. I think the album's I think the album's a little overhyped. But I kind of, there's a few other ones that I think should be higher and that maybe should be competing with Sims for number 1. But I'm fine with her getting it.
I'm not. It should have. Okay. One thing I'm extremely repulsed about on this list is that in the top 50, it does not have Donda or Porter Robinson's album Nurture.
Yeah.
Now, I am sorry, Donda is the most diverse album that's came out since like The Life of Pablo, in my opinion. Am I wrong? Like, name one other album that's been that
Kanye.
all over the place
There's probably been some.
that you've listened to and that was popular. Because that one was extremely popular. It's multiple songs have 50 million to 100 million streams.
Popular. I don't know. At least like popularity wise, that'd probably be hard to say. I don't know. I mean, I feel like saying most though. I don't know. I don't share with you with the Donda hype. I think it's good, and I think it should be on here too. But
At least in the top 25.
Porter Robinson should definitely be in the top 20. I'll give you credit for that.
No, that should have been top 10.
Top
That
10,
is
top 20, somewhere there.
That's a brilliantly crafted album.
Also, we have to make mention, Silk Sonic barely cracked top 50, which was very surprising for me.
Where were they on the list?
They're way near the bottom.
43?
Yeah.
Wow.
No top ones, 1 second place.
Dude, it's repulsive. Vince Staples got a higher placement than Silk Sonic.
Yeah.
Doja Cat, too?
Doja Cat got really high for some reason.
New Country got well placed. That 23.
Wait, real quick. My laptop's like, its fans are going for some reason.
Okay, but let's do the outro then. Do you want me to do it or you want to do it?
Fuck. Wait, I don't know why this is doing this.
Wait, do you want me to just do the outro really quick and then we can just end it?
Sure. One of the things I would say, I guess, is I think, and this is like more of a meta commentary about the list. I feel like popularity, or like, like, a lot of these albums get hampered by the fact that certain publications don't even really like cover them or like will recognize that they exist. So for instance, like we were just looking at Black Country New Road. I think any list makers being objective would probably have that in the top 10, considering like how big a splash it made specifically in like the post-rock community. Like that album got mad hype in that community. It's considered one of the best records in a while for like that genre of music. But if you like look at it, there isn't even nearly as many like just placements at all compared to a lot like to like Olivia Rodrigo or like a lot of these other more popular records.
And
it's probably
that's one of the reasons. Sorry.
No, what are you gonna say?
No, that's one of the reasons why I'm confused as to why Donda didn't get a higher placement. Because like everyone reviewed Donda, and like a handful of people did Black Country.
Well, it may be because Donda didn't really place a lot in the top 10s. That's what I'm thinking.
But Silk Sonic placed in the top 10s a lot, and it was low ranked.
Well, I guess it didn't, because like, I mean,
dude, that one song, Smoking Out the Window, everybody knows that song.
Yeah, but for whatever reason, people weren't fucking with it enough to put it in the top 10. I wonder, because that album made such a splash when it came out. It's so confusing. Right? Like,
I also feel like a lot of publications won't put popular music in their top 10 so they don't seem quote-unquote mainstream.
I could see that. But still, though, like, one more album that I kind of wish was higher, and maybe this is kind of coming from personal bias because I enjoyed it so much. But Bright Green Field by Squid.
Wasn't that in the top 20?
It was 21. It barely escaped top 20. But I think, no spoil, because we are doing our top 10 albums, so no spoilers. But I think this album, like, I really like this record, and I think the output was enough that it should have cracked. It should have cracked top 15. I think it should be top 10. Probably one of those things.
Speak your truth, King.
What are you saying?
I said, speak your truth, King.
Hell yeah.
Underline your. One thing that I'm kind of repulsed of on this list is that there is not a single mention of King's Disease 2,
Yeah, that.
which makes no sense because that is like the last few albums he dropped haven't been it. Besides King Disease 1, which won a Grammy, but I haven't listened to it. But he just dropped one of the best albums of his career, and nobody talked about it on
That's
this
not
list.
even hyperbole.
That's
like,
absurd.
That really was. I mean, I think it's the best Nas album since it was written, and that was dropped in the goddamn the 90s, I think. So, I mean,
Yeah, I have to agree
shit.
with that.
I
And he followed it up too with another album that's almost as good.
it just like, I mean, yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why he wouldn't be. And he's made the stream enough too to where like you think he'd. Some people would at least give him some recognition. I don't know. It's not like saying King's Disease 2 was a great record is any sort of a controversial opinion. That I feel like most people recognize it's a great record. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Honestly, the reason a lot of people hated the Eminem song, but I still think that's a
I
great
think
song.
a lot of people are just kind of over Eminem at this point. I'm in that camp too.
I'm over him, but I could still recognize when he drops something good. Compared to what he's been
I
dropping.
don't know though. I just, whenever he comes onto a song, I don't know if it's just some sort of like reflective behavior, but I can't.
I feel like everybody went through this group cringe phase of loving Eminem, and now everyone's just out of the haze, and they're like, it just sends them right back to their
it gives
cringe
them
phase
flashbacks.
when they hear him. So, but again, like I still think some Eminem songs are kind of good. Like I can recognize his new shit is bad, and some of his older shit is cringy. But like, some of his songs on Recovery aren't
I don't
bad.
disagree. Keyword on some though. Heavy emphasis on some.
Some are trash. Some are dog shit.
Oh yeah, sure.
You ready for
Want
outro?
to me to do it?
What do you want to do? I literally do not care.
I'll do it. What are we plugging? What's the
Fill in
next
the
thing to
clip.
do?
The next one is going to be our top 10 list, and then as of now, let's say Nas.
Alright guys, so that's the video. Remember, if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. All of it helps. Our next video coming out should be our top 10 albums for this year list. We'll both give our top 10s and sort of, go back and forth with it. We are also planning...
I was going to say, in the top 10, we're also going to give honorable mentions.
Yeah, that's
That
true.
matters.
Yeah, before we start, we'll give our honorable mentions. And for... I don't know if it's the one after that, but coming up soon, we are going to be having, I guess, a review or like a talk about, a discussion about the Beatles documentary that drops, what was it, about a month ago?
Yeah, over Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's called Get Back, and it was made by the guy who did the Percy Jackson movies. His name is escaping me.
So, yeah.
In Lord of the Rings.
So we are going to be talking about that. I don't know if we're gonna like talk about the entire thing, like, or if we're gonna go like episode to episode, or what, like specifically what we're gonna do.
We'll probably do episode to episode, because if we wanted to make one video discussing the 7.5 hour documentary, it would be way too long, and it would be a lot for us to
Edit.
try to get. Yeah, not even that. It would be like, if we do episode by episode, that's only, okay, I can talk about this later actually.